Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Florida.
Yeah, you gotta love when you have a guy like Ichiro on your team and every at-bat is so big, coming up to a milestone like 3,000. Only 29 players in the history of the game have achieved that milestone. Just get on the on-deck so you can hear the buzz in the crowd.
He's too shy of 3,000.
Now I'm awoken, just this moment aside.
Well, that buzz will be in the crowd tonight, that's for sure. The Cardinals and the Marlins on a Friday night in Miami. This is game 2 of a 4-game set, but that just begins to tell the story tonight. Ichiro too shy of 3,000, starting and hitting third in front of Giancarlo Stanton. How about that? Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Eduardo Perez. And while you may think that's the top headline in this one, it's not. The Miami Marlins and the San Diego Padres with a 7-player deal, and the Marlins have picked up 2 starting pitchers for their rotation.
They have, and I think for the Marlins, this is something that had to be done. When you can get a Cashner into your lineup, into that pitching lineup, and be able to slot him in. You've heard Don Mattingly in the pregame say it. This guy could be anyone's #1. You combine him with Jose Fernandez at the top of the rotation. This sends a message to the players that we are not only trying to get into the playoffs via the wild card, the Marlins are trying to win the division. And with 7 games left between the Mets and also the Nationals, you have 6 games, the Mets you have 7. This is something to look at. They know they can do it. They've already passed the Mets. They're focused on the Nationals.
And this series will feel the effects of that. Colin Ray starts tomorrow. Cashner makes his Marlins debut on Sunday. Okay, the Ichiro portion of our telecasts. Look, it's just an incredible story to get here in only 16 seasons, to be this close. The at-bat last night was typical of what he's done this year. His hits have been in the context of helping the Marlins win ball games.
They've been clutch hits, and if you look at where the pitches are, they're always down. He has a knack for hitting that hard line drive on the ground, and it makes the defense really work, and he has an ability to find the hole. It's a great matchup for him today. When you have Leak going for the Cardinals, where he keeps the ball down with a sinker, Ichiro up there, this could be a match made ahead of him for the dramatic, especially for Ichiro with the start here.
He's in the 3 spot as well, right in front of Giancarlo Stanton. That's an interesting dynamic as well. More on the trade. 2 arms joining the Fish rotation. The Fish and the Cardinals. And, of course, Ichiro tonight. and Marlins. Let's go out to center field. Craig Minervini and Jeff Conine.
Well, no question, buzz in the ballpark. Ichiro 2 hits away. A lot about that during the game. Let's talk about the trade. We'll get Niners' thoughts on it as we show it to you in case you missed it. Big one between the Marlins and San Diego Padres announced before the game here today. Nina, your take as the Marlins get 2 pitchers, trade 2 pitchers with minor leaguers exchange as well.
Yeah, you look at on the left-hand side, Cashner and Ray, 2 big right-handed pitchers. You got Cashner at 6'6", Ray at 6'5". Cashner's been throwing the ball extremely well as of late. Yes, they did part with some good pieces, Cozart Caps, Josh Naylor, and Luis Castillo, but the Marlins in it for right now. Let's win right now.
President of Baseball Operations, Mike Hill.
We wanted to do something to help this club. We've played so well, but we really felt like our starting pitching needed to improve. And we've spent the better part of the last few weeks and looking at ways to upgrade our pitching. And late last night, we were able to put the deal in place to acquire Andrew Cashner and Colin Ray, as well as minor league pitcher Tehran Guerrero. So very excited that we were able to accomplish some of our goals as we set out this trade deadline season.
And they're going to be thrown right into the fire. Ray tomorrow, Cashner on Sunday. See what these guys can do to help the Marlins get in the postseason since 2003.
Going to be exciting. History could be made tonight.
There it is. 2 more, Ichi. 2 more.
2-9-9-8. Ichiro starting. He'll bat 3rd in the ball game. We got it all coming up for you here. As the 2 playoff hopefuls. Cardinals, Marlins coming up. Game 2.
Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By Southwest, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by your local Toyota dealers, let's go places. The calm before the storm. Ichiro on his way out to left field. Cardinals and Marlins. Jose Urena on the mound. And he'll take aim at this lineup for Mike Matheny's St. Louis Cardinals.
Fred Garcia leading off playing 3rd base with the Cubano Aledmys Diaz playing shortstop. What a season, all-star for the St. Louis Cardinals with Matt Holliday in the 3 spot, Matt Adams in the cleanup, and then Yadier Molina, the catcher for the Cardinals in the 5 spot. Jeremy Hazelbaker will be playing right field. Tommy Pham in center field hitting 7th. Colton Wong hitting 8th, playing second base, and Mike Leake on the mound. Expect a lot of ground balls when he's on there, hitting 9th.
Brought to you by UHealth Sports Medicine, Jose Urena. Now, the numbers that you see don't reflect how well he's pitched in his 2 starts in the rotation since being brought up from AAA. And the key for Urena, Eduardo, has been down.
Have to keep it down, and we have to get that tilde on top of that N for him to be able to continue to keep that bad boy down. He's been very aggressive, has been pitching a lot more inside. This is a guy that'll be a valuable piece for the Marlins if he can continue going deep into the games.
Defensively, the Fish have been very good this year. Denny Echeverria had an exceptional night last night. Southwest Airlines brings it to you. A night off for Christian Yelich. That's why Ichiro's out in left. So Ozuna in center. Giancarlo Stanton in right. Derek Dietrich back at first with Martin Prado across the diamond. Miguel Rojas getting a start at short. D. Gordon at second base. And JT Realmuto behind the plates. All strapped in, ready to go. Urena delivers. Fastball, ground ball up the middle. Rojas dives on his feet, fires to first, not in time. And Garcia has an infield hit.
Talk about speed at the top of the order. Urena falls off to the first base side. He has no play. Great attempt right there by Miguel at shortstop. Gives it all he has, but no substitute for speed. As Greg Garcia beats it out.
Aledmys Diaz, Matt Holliday, and then Matt Adams in the Cardinals order. And this is Diaz, who hurt the Marlins in St. Louis and hurt him last night. Hurt his buddy Jose Fernandez especially, with a 2-run homer and an RBI double. And in a year where the Cardinals have had some injury issues, some ups and downs, it's been the surprise season of Diaz that has kept them in the postseason conversation, even with the Marlins at 55 and 47. You see the average: 14 homers, 25 doubles. Ichiro. And there's one out. Matt Holliday now.
Funny to see Greg Garcia trying to see if he was going to catch Ichiro napping. That's one outfielder you will not catch napping, is Ichiro. Tagging up, trying to see if he puts his head down. Not with him.
It's one thing that Ichiro has done with the Marlins that he didn't do a whole lot of in Seattle, and that is play left field. Holliday takes in. Matt Holliday, 1 for 4, a home run down the right field line last night against Jose.
Now, when he hit it, did you think that ball was gone? That's how strong Matt Holliday is. Looked like a fly ball that was going to go foul.
In on his hands, good pitch. Prado and Rojas. Rojas calls him off and makes the catch. And there are 2 outs, and here is Matt Adams. Well, the Cardinals and the Marlins played a tight game last night, that's for sure. 5-4 was the final. And for Mike Matheny and the Cardinals, it's kind of status quo. Their last 6 wins have all been by 1 run. Don Mattingly and the Fish with an identical 55 and 47 record. Second in the East and tied for second with the Cardinals in the wild card. Adams, a mountain of a man as well. Big strong left-handed bat. Marlins are hopeful to get their big strong left-handed bat back in Chicago against the Cubs starting Monday. Justin Bour rehabbing that high ankle sprain. 2-0. 2 starts at Philly. Just a run in 5 2/3. And here against the Mets, just a run in 6 innings.
It's a really good 2-0 pitch. Missed twice away. This time stayed down and away on that 2-0 pitch. Making sure Matt Adams earns anything he can do with that pitch. You see it right down, kissing the bottom of the strike zone. You don't want to come in with that, though.
Well, now he has to make a good 3-1 pitch. Juan Nieves, Miami's pitching coach. Marlins starters on a nice run despite the injuries, the loss of Wei-Yin Chen. Another pop-up, and it's Prado. Urania gets through the first. Ichiro heads in. He's 2 away. He's hitting third, and he's coming up. Scoreless ball game. Marlins and Cardinals. Ichiro has the bat ready. He's due up third this inning. D. Gordon in the leadoff spot. And he takes a sinker from Mike Leake. And we'll see a lot of those tonight. The count is 1-0. Gordon, Prado, Ichiro. With Giancarlo Stanton in the cleanup spot. Marcelo Zuna slotted 5th.
The key to Mike Leake is simple. Keep the ball down. You have to be able to do so because with the sinkers he has, now the defense, that's where the pressure lies. Defense has to be able to do their job. This season, the Cardinals have struggled defensively, making the routine plays, and that's why their record is not as good as it could be, especially with the offense that they've had this season.
Gordon a chopper. Leake back of the mound to get it, and he gets the out at first. UHealth brings you the Marlins lineup. We've met Gordon. Prado's up now. Ichiro in front of Stanton. Ozuna, Dietrich, Real Muto, Rojas, a night off for Echeverria, and Urania hits 9th.
I like it, changing it up a little bit.
Well, Don Mattingly talked about the lineup, and with Yelich getting the night off, rather than disrupt everybody else, he figured he would just slide Ichiro into that 3 spot in Yelich's position. Prado, a couple more hits last night, including a homer. And he's behind in the count now, 0-2. Marlins have had a terrific year hitting the baseball. Barry Bonds, Frank Menechino working together. And Prado has been one of the guys leading the charge. Right now, third in the National League in hitting. And he's aboard, and here comes Ichiro. Now, last night, with the double to right, the fact that Adams was holding a runner at first opened the right side for Ichiro for 2,998. And once again, Adams is holding the runner at first here with one out.
And a very good combination for Ichiro with Mike Leake on the mound. A sinker baller, pitches to contact. Ichiro handles the bat very well, manipulates the baseball throughout the infield.
He has hit everywhere Don Mattingly has put him. In the starting lineup, 342. As a pinch hitter, he's been big. Close and late. Runners in scoring position. Every category is well over 300. And he chases. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. For some players, this might be overwhelming. For Ichiro, this is normal. Normal in Japan, normal in his early years in Seattle. League figures he'd try to get him to chase again.
All 3 pitches have been on the outer part. You see him right there on Foxcross. Staying away, away, away.
Stanton on deck. Prado's at first. Breaking ball and a check swing. Count evens at 2-2.
Student of the game, student throughout. He's diving all over the plate, then all of a sudden sees that ball up and in. Protects it. It's a foul.
2-2. Jam shot, and it's a foul ball. Batting average up and on base percentage up this year. His walk rate has increased. He seems to be much more patient than he was last year.
He understands his role a lot better. Understands the National League system of play where the pinch hitting can come in the 5th. Throughout, he has to be ready early. Starts getting ready when he's not playing around the 3rd inning.
Another 2-2. It's out. By a good margin, it was out. See if Don Mattingly starts Prado at first.
I would. Contact pitcher, ground ball hitter.
Prado runs. Ichiro, soft line drive, and Garcia goes across the diamond in time to get the double play, and Miami is done in the 1st. Underway and scoreless.
En español a través del SAP y es presentado a ustedes por Kendall Toyota y West Kendall Toyota.
In Miami tonight, the Cardinals and the Marlins scoreless, and each row lining into a double play to finish off the first. Jose Urena gets a smoking hot Yadier Molina. Jeremy Hazelbaker and Tommy Pham. And Molina has been doubling now just about every game for a week. He's got a 12-game hit streak. And he doubled last night in his first at bat. He would go 2 for 4. And the Cardinals have been hot when the Marlins were in St. Louis, and it took 2 of 3 from the Cardinals. All of a sudden, St. Louis has gotten it going. And Molina, a liner to left. Cardinals are 10-5 since the All-Star break. Now, if you look on the numbers, the history between Hazelbaker and Urena, at least on paper, isn't much. But if you go back into the minor leagues a month ago, guess what? They had words, they had beef, and they threw down. This is Memphis against New Orleans about a month ago.
This is the thing, at this level right now, you're in the big leagues. These two guys better forget about everything that happened in the minor leagues and focus right now on the big picture, which is the St. Louis Cardinals and the Miami Marlins. They're both in a pennant race. But all the stuff that happened in the past, it's about executing pitches right now.
Hazelbaker, his first year in the big leagues, 69 games. Guy that toiled in the minor leagues waiting for a shot. He's finally been able to get it. Cardinals always seem to have a player or two like him that has been in their system for 6-7 years, and because of an injury is called upon and plays well. Hazelbaker to right, down the line and deep, and it's gone. And he homers against Urena. Well, Hazelbaker will have a hard time forgetting about that.
See that changeup down and in on the left-handed hitter. As soon as he hit it, he knew it. And while he was rounding first base, he looked at Urena, saying, I got you back. And that, as a hitter, you're dreaming of this, and to be able to get payback with a home run, and he did do his job there. Unfortunately for Urena and the Marlins, scores 2-zip. Watch him rounding the bases here. After stepping on first, he looks over there. Subtle, yet made eye contact. And the players know. They know exactly what happened on that day. A couple of his teammates were in Memphis with him. Randall Grichuk was there. Albert Rosario was also on the Memphis team.
Tommy Pham pulls it foul. And so Urena's given up 2 here in the second. He gave up 2 combined in his first 2 starts. Pham is another guy that's been in the Cardinal organization and has had big moments, including a couple of home runs against the Marlins in that 3-game set. That was the first series after the All-Star break. (3-2), and He's hit by the pitch. Although Pham went towards first, now he doubles back, and now he's doubled over.
That's pain. He doesn't know where he's going to. He commits himself with trying to check his swing. A lot of hitters roll with this. Another changeup. Just coming in. See how he commits right there. And he recognizes that he can roll, turn his back on it. Instead, he's gearing up. Always cringe when you see a hitter get hit on the wrist.
And it clearly hit the wrist and not the bat. Pham is a guy that has been plagued by injuries. And so he's down to first base. And the Cardinals have been able to get to Urania. Colton Wong now the hitter. Wong 0 for 2 with a couple of walks last night. After signing a multi-year contract, hits have been tough to come by. But he pokes this one down the left field line, and that's a fair ball. Ichiro up with it. Pham to third, coming home. Ichiro's throw all the way to the plate, and he scores. It just pulled Real Muto away from the line. And St. Louis has a 3-0 lead.
St. Louis Cardinals continue to get extra base hit after extra base hit. Nice piece of hitting by Colton Wong. This pitch way outside, goes with it, keeping it fair. You can watch Tommy Pham. He is with good speed rounding the bases. Ichiro cuts this ball off. Chris Maloney at third base, aggressive, sending him in, scores easily.
So Wong a double. And here is Leake, who handles the bat very well. He fouls it at the plate. Leake, a terrific athlete. In fact, he came right from Arizona State's rotation into the Cincinnati Reds rotation. And in his career, he has 6 home runs.
Actually surprised with a 3-0 lead that Mike Leake, the way he handles the baseball bat, is not just swinging away. You already have a runner in scoring position. I think he's surprised also. There was 0 effort to that, trying to get that bunt down. Now you put yourself down 0-2.
Three hits for the Cardinals and a hit batter. All here in the second inning. And Urania gets the strikeout. So that's a first out of the second. Marlins Digital Flex Pass gives you 20 digital tickets for just $199, just $10 a game. And you pick the games you want to attend. The Flex Pass is the perfect way to follow Ichiro's historic chase for 3,000. Marlins.com, the place to go for your digital Flex Pass. Garcia, who had an infield hit his first time up, fouls it into the seats. Nice play. Worth a look.
Oh yeah, going for the leap
with a Yelich jersey.
That's where he spends his day off. The guy in the white shirt was going to get drilled if it wasn't for him. There we go. He got a kiss out of it too.
And he's doing a really nice job of nonchalanting it. right?
Work it.
Yep. This is what I do every day.
In the meantime, the other guy's like, I was ducking, I got out of the way.
And now Urania hits Garcia. And Juan Nieves is out. Right in the back pocket. The Marlins, of course, pulled off a major trade today with the San Diego Padres. Colin Ray and Andrew Cashner, both starting pitchers, are jumping right into the rotation starting tomorrow night. Ray will go on the Saturday nights, and Cashner gets the ball on Sunday. Mike Hill, Marlins president of baseball operations, joins us in the third. The one thing that the Marlins have been able to do before that trade is get some nice starts out of the likes of Jose Urania, the departed Jared Kozar, and a rapidly improving Tom Kohler, who's turned in 2 really nice starts in a row.
Yes, Tom has been able to do really well with that curveball, been able to locate it right where he needs to in any count, and that really has been the difference maker when it comes to him executing his pitches.
Did he go? No swing. That's Bill Welke at first. This is a veteran crew with John Hirschbeck behind the plate, Welke at first, DJ Rayburn out at second, and Vic Carapazza at third base. Ledmus Diaz takes the 1-1 in. Right now, Urania doesn't have the feel, the touch, or the stuff that he had in the start in Philly and at home against the Mets.
Boy, he's trying to feed off Diaz's aggressiveness in this at-bat, holding that two-seamer just a little bit too tight. You have to just be able to throw it and believe in your stuff. Try to hit the targets, try to throw through the target, see if you can get that ground ball, and let your great defense behind you work. That's 94 miles per hour with serious action. Last minute, that ball just dives out of the zone. This is where Mike Matheny has to make a decision here. Do you put the runners in motion or not? Try to stay out away from the double play.
Runners hold, and Diaz strikes out.
This is how good his stuff is. Mid-90s, but more impressive. When do you see a hitter swing over a fastball? That just lets you know how much late sink this baseball has.
Mike Matheny has been to the postseason in the 4 previous years. His first 4 years as a major league manager, he jumped onto a moving train. 2 National League Central titles. Of course, a World Series loss in 2013. He's already managed 43 postseason games. Well, you saw that ball just shoot off the foot of Holliday.
That's all about the action that baseball has. That's why you shouldn't even try to get it to sink much. Watch where it hits. I think it hits right off the top of the shoe.
Yes, that chalk line can be a nuisance.
It's a marker. There it is.
To me, watching Holliday over the years, he's more of a machine than Albert Pujols. I mean, Holliday is an RBI animal. Runners in scoring position, the best in baseball by far over the last 3 seasons.
It's because of his approach. Going the other way, RBI guys have a knack of understanding, of being able to use the entire field. A career .345 hitter versus the Marlins. Marlins trying to pound them in as much as they can.
Rare breaking ball from Urania. Last 3 seasons with runners in scoring position, 379 for what many people feel is not a repeatable skill. He has been able to repeat it.
Put food on the table for me when I was a kid.
Amen, brother. Breaking ball misses out.
My dad, Tony Perez, was one of the best, and I had the honor of interviewing him before the game about the strategy he would have in driving in runs, and it is awesome to listen to day in and day out. Sitting next to Jeff Idelson, president of Major League Hall of Fame.
Now, at the Sabre convention, how did everybody react to your father and the discussion on hitting with runners in scoring position?
It was, they loved it. They loved it because there's so much passion when he speaks about runners in scoring position, and the runners that he had in front of him are Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, Ken Griffey Sr. You're talking about guys that when they were getting on and he did not drive them in, as he notices he's on TV, they would get all over him. So he knew there was pressure from just not only driving in the runners, but also getting them in. If not, he was going to listen and hear it from his teammates.
One of the great things about working here is that you have Tony Perez, you have Andre Dawson, you have a lot of guys with a lot of experience available to ask questions. I asked him a few years ago about hitting with runners in scoring position. A lot of people say they're looking for a ball to hit in the air. And he said no. He said he's looking to drive the ball. There's Jack McKeon as well. Runners on the move. And it's pop foul. And I found that interesting. You know, the thought is sometimes that, hey, you're looking to hit the ball in the air to score the runner from third. And your father said, absolutely not. Just, I want a pitch I can drive through the infield and drive into the outfield. Just a pitch I can drive.
That's all he wants, a pitch that he can drive. And he would always say, look at right center, that's your best friend. You can hit the ball and drive it to the right center field gap. You will make a beautiful living. Easier said than done, and that's what I told all the sabermetric fans that were there. But being able to listen how he slowed the game down, breathing, was wonderful. And then to introduce Barry Bonds and just get out of the stage and let the home run king do the rest was fun.
Runners move again, and Urania misses again. So not only have the Cardinals put 3 runs up, but they've pushed the pitch count close to 50. And that's this inning, 36 this inning.
And where he's missing is to the third base side of the plate. Greg Garcia got hit on the first base side of the plate as a left-handed hitter, but every other pitch seems to run away arm side. Dangerous hitter at the plate.
Matt Adams popped to third. This is his second at bat. 2 hit batters, a walk, a single, a double, a homer, all here in the second inning. Adams to left, Ichiro there, makes the catch. Cardinals put 3 up. 3-0 St. Louis. JT Realmuto, Jose Urena trying to get it together. You can see Realmuto diagramming exactly what you talked about.
And he's telling me you don't have to overthrow it. Just hit the target. It will have its own action. I've seen and played with many pitchers that try to aim at where the ball should go when they have so much life. No need for Jose.
Giancarlo Stanton, Marcell Ozuna, Derek Dietrich, and Miami's second. That's Mike Leake. Cardinals have tried very hard to pitch Stanton in off the plate. Counts 1-2. There's the slider from Leake. These two have a history. 2 for 12 is Stanton with a home run. Got a slider into the bat though, and Hazelbaker on the track makes the catch. Eduardo mentioned that for the Cardinals, defense has been an issue this year. 76 errors. Southwest Airlines presents Matt Holliday, Tommy Pham, Hazelbaker out in right, Adams and Garcia on the corners, Diaz and Wong up the middle, and Yadier Molina behind the plate.
You saw Leake throwing a lot of sliders to Giancarlo Stanton. That's a pitch that he's starting to throw a lot more. Trying to get a little bit more strikeouts out of that pitch also, but still letting his defense work for him with the two-seam fastball.
Ozuna lifts one foul and out of play. Leake, as we noted, right from Arizona State's rotation into the Reds rotation. He did at one point go down for 2 minor league games in 2011. Ozuna, left field, deep, gone. Like a rocket. Miami on the board, his 18th.
Well, looks like cutting that hair seems to work for Marcell. Had to get a different helmet size also with that haircut. But most importantly, the cut on the swing's still there. That's a big run for the Marlins after allowing 3, a crooked number, to get 1 on the board. Two-seamer up in the zone. Marcell brings his hands in beautifully and then barrels it way over the left field fence.
To Derek Dietrich. Seen a couple of fans make nice plays tonight. Oh, very nice. Big ups.
Extension.
Glove on it.
Take a seat.
Stuck the landing. Dietrich trying to get himself headed back towards 300. He was 0 for 2 in yesterday's ball game, though he did hit a ball right on the nose and lined out to center.
We look at the scouting report sponsored by AutoNation. Steady presence. Has made at least 30 starts last 4 seasons. Always on that bump on the mound.
Wong to first. Second out.
You see the featured fastball. We're talking 77% of the time. Mike Leake throws that fastball with a lot of action, a lot of sink, a lot of cutters also. Most importantly, he's picked up that slider, no free passes, knows how to use both sides of the plate in 123 innings, only 17 walks, pitches quickly, stays on the rubber most of the time. Watch after he pitches. Reminds you of a right-handed Mark Burley.
Realmuto Wong on the outfield grass. Nice spin and a nice play. Miami on the board. Marcell Ozuna, a solo homer. 3-1 St. Louis. Michael Hill joins us next. Marcell Ozuna gets one back with his 18th home run of the season. Joining us now, Michael Hill, President of Baseball Operations for the Miami Marlins. I'm sure a busy 48 hours for you, 7-player deal. How did it come to fruition?
Well, this has been going on for a little bit longer than 48 hours. I know we were able to bring it to its conclusion late last night, but it's been something ongoing. Just as we've watched this team play, and I think we saw areas where we wanted to improve. We started early in the acquisition of Fernando Rodney, and we really, since that deal, we had been working on starting pitching.
How much of the deal was formed after the injury to Wei-Yin Chen?
I think it was in place before the injury, and as you see, we were able to acquire Andrew Cashner, Colin Ray, as well as minor league pitcher Tayron Guerrero, and we gave away some good pieces in the process. But for us, this was ongoing. This was something that we felt strongly about doing even before Wei-Yin was injured, and it was just a matter of finding the right partner. The market was extremely challenging. That going to stay in. Fly ball to right field. Big G's got it.
Very nice. Very nice.
I was wondering if you were going to do that. I was waiting for that one. Out of Andrew Cashner, what have you seen in the last 3 starts he had coming back from the disabled list?
Well, we've probably seen his last 5, I would say, and with each one, the stuff just got better and better, and he's someone that our manager and our bench coach are very familiar with from the National League West in the past, and it's someone we were looking for, someone who we felt could be even better than what we've seen in the past, and Andrew Cashner's pitched at the top of rotations previously, and we know that he has the kind of stuff that could fit in nicely in our rotation.
There's that matchup again, Hazelbaker and Urania, as we showed you. These two a month ago in the minor leagues had turned into a benches clearing brawl. A pitch that was up and in, and so Hazelbaker, first time against Urania here, cracks one to right, and it just stays fair. Changeup is out. Tell us about your starter tomorrow night, Colin Ray.
And I think that's another important piece of this deal. The prices for pitching were just stupendous when you think about what it was going to take to acquire a pitcher that may or may not be with you long term. And when we were able to expand the deal and get a piece that was going to move forward with us, it really clinched the deal for us, knowing that. And we'll see Colin tomorrow. He's big, he's physical, and we like what the potential is with him moving forward.
Now, if you're doing the math here, you guys could end up with 6 starting pitchers. I know that Jose Fernandez innings limit is something that you're very aware of. You guys have been proactive, planning it out, mapping it out since all the way back in February and March. How does the bulk of starting pitchers, and even when Chen comes back, help you accomplish that?
Well, I think you can never have enough depth, and that's one thing that we've always known. That pitching is fleeting, and you can never have enough of it. And in this case, we felt like we had an opportunity to acquire 3 quality pieces that fit with us, not just in the short term but in the long term, and we could accomplish what we wanted to do to help this team that's played so well and has kept right in the thick of the race.
Rojas, Gordon to Dietrich. And Urena tightens things up in the 3rd. Stick around, Michael, if you will.
Of course.
Marlins coming to the plate down 3-1 in the 3rd. President of Baseball Operations, in our booth talking about a 7-player deal, and the Marlins and their fans are going to see that right away. Colin Ray starts tomorrow night. Andrew Cashner starts on Sunday against these Cardinals. Mike Leake on the mound right now, and he throws a strike to Miguel Rojas. We saw Wei-Yin Chen in that picture. Status, how has it gone just shutting him down, trying to get that tender elbow to calm down?
Yeah, I think that was the goal with him, was just to let it quiet down, no throw, no activity, and he's had success with that in the past. He's going to start to ramp up here in the next day or so, and we'll have a clear idea. Out front, ground ball, scooped up by Leake.
There is a second career waiting for you. You know that.
I'm sorry. It's just, we watch so many games together. It just sort of.
Well, that's so you'll know it once he starts to ramp up the throwing program.
Yeah, we'll have an idea of when his, have a better idea of when his return would be. He's got to go back through the return to throw program and get himself back, ready to step back into this rotation and help us win ball games.
What about that middle of the piece in the lineup with Justin Bour? When's his high ankle sprain?
Justin is on rehab tonight with the New Orleans team, and we had created some at-bats for him all this week, just making sure that we'd have his eyes sharp. he had been doing everything, all the functional activities, the ground balls, the base running, to make sure he was ready to play. And so we sent him to New Orleans. He'll be in their lineup tonight, and we'll get him some at-bats over the weekend.
Are you done dealing?
I don't think we'll be done until 4:01 on Monday afternoon. I think if there's an opportunity for us, and we speak so much about the need for depth and pieces that we think can help us in any shape, form, or manner, and I think that's what we're looking to do. If there's an area where we can make a deal that makes sense for us, that gives us necessary depth, then I think that's what our goal is here these next few days.
Well, the ball club itself has played so well. What was the reaction in the clubhouse from what you can tell from the trade today? Because that's a component that's not on paper and that people don't often analyze or talk about when a trade like this is made.
And I think, you know, these guys know what's going on in the clubhouse. They can see where they feel we're strong, and areas where we may need to strengthen and get a little deeper. And that was one thing that was evident, that our starting pitching just needed to improve, and we wanted to get into the marketplace and find the most impactful pieces we could to help this ball club, and we feel like we were successful in doing so.
D. Gordon back to league, and the Marlins are down in order. Michael Hill, congratulations on the trade. Thank you for the visit.
No, thank you, guys.
Got it. Thank you.
And maybe we'll be visiting with you on Monday as well. Who knows?
Let's see what happens.
3-1 Cardinals.
Batting second this inning for the Cardinals is Mike Leake. Does it look funny to you to see a number 8 on a pitcher's uniform? Never has happened in Marlins history. And Leake is the only number 8 pitcher in Major League Baseball today. There are a few other guys with just single-digit jerseys, but it's rare. As you can see, Carl Edwards Jr. wears number 6. Ottavino in Colorado, number 0. Blake Snell over in Tampa Bay has a number 4 on his jersey, along with Marcus Stroman from the Jays and Julio Urias from the LA Dodgers, number 7. But the first number 8 in Marlins history is Brett Barbary. But again, no pitcher has ever worn number 8. It just looks a little bit funny, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Most pitchers are in the double digits. Some guys, a guy like Urania, who is trying to make a team in the spring, gets a high number like 62.
And no tilde on his name. Bothers me.
It does.
You know, the Mets had a thing. Remember we had the number 12 we were talking about recently, Rich. I forgot what pitcher it was, but we're talking to Ron Darling that night. Now, he wore 12. The Mets pitchers then like to wear the Doc was 16. I think Ojeda was 19 in that era. David Cohn, I think, might have been 18. So they had a thing among the pitchers where they all wanted to be somewhere in the 10s to 19. But you don't see the single digits very often.
No, you know, you used to see the Toronto Blue Jays Towers even also had number 7 before. Those were like the first pitchers in the league that consistently had low numbers. But this guy right here with number 8, he can also hit.
So can Colton Wong, who blisters that one in the gap off the wall. Ozuna after it. It dies at the base of the wall, and Wong is digging for third. Gordon's relay, and that is a triple to open up the 4th against Urania. Colton Wong all of a sudden is swinging it. RBI double in the 2nd and a leadoff triple here in the 4th.
When you see hitters, especially early in games, be able to hit one the other way for a double, and this one right here, Colton Wong, you see how he's looking at the baseball. He's his own coach on the bases. That ball's right in front of him. Sees the ball stay stuck to the wall on the bottom, does not bounce out, and decides to go to third immediately. Right there, it just sticks to the bottom. No chance for the Marlins, even with the relay, to get him at third base.
Now Leak, corners are somewhat in, and the middle is halfway with Rojas and Gordon.
And you're Chris Maloney, third base coach. You are telling your base runner at third, make sure it goes through, even with the infield just halfway in, not all the way in.
Greg Garcia and then Aledmus Diaz follow Leak, who struck out back in the 2nd. And it's 1-2.
How about this for this series? The Cardinals, so far 13 hits in the series, 8 of them are for extra base hits. This is a game they've been playing all season long. Getting that slugging percentage up.
That's strike 3 called. And Urania gets Leak. Percentage of hits as extra base hits. Top and bottom here.
Cardinals have been able to hit the long ball. Not only that, a lot of doubles this season, capitalizing, scoring in bunches.
Garcia shoots that foul. And the Marlins, on the other hand, have the highest percentage of singles. Royals and Braves. The difference between those two top teams, the Royals have speed, and the Marlins, until D. Gordon walked back through the doors, were absent that type of speed. That one to left. Now Ichiro towards the line with a head of steam. Great arm. Wong comes home. Here's the throw from Ichiro. He got him! Woo! Vintage Ichiro.
Sugoi, as they say in Japan. Outstanding.
As my old friend Dave Niehaus would have said, that's something right out of Star Wars. Ichiro to the plate. And Wong is out.
over third is Terrence Love. The throw by Ichiro. Beautiful. Peggy got him.
Ichiro with a great throw. That was the throw. That was Rick Riz on the call. Dave Niehaus was also broadcasting that game, the Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Seattle Mariners, and those two called an awful lot of Ichiro's exploits. And this is tonight's throw.
Well, he gets in perfect position to make the throw, and he understands the game perfectly. Fly ball, you don't have to hit the cutoff right there. No cutoff to hit. No runners are going to advance. Believe in your arm. And this is one thing he does every day is play long toss. He plays catch, something you don't see a lot of players in Major League Baseball do. The discipline is there.
High chopper. Garcia behind the bag, and Prado is out. And here is Ichiro for his second at bat. First at bat, a full count, and Ichiro hit a soft line drive to Garcia at third, and then actually doubled up Prado, who was running from first. Leak goes with a fastball for a strike. A double last night in a pinch hitting appearance. The slider is in.
Talk about Mike Leake using both sides of the plate. First at bat did the same thing. Late came in. This time he went out in. That time middle. That's what Ichiro wants back.
Leake is a guy that works quickly. And it's out. Back to the screen. When Ichiro gets to 3,000, he will be only the second of the 30 to get there within 16 seasons. The only other, Pete Rose. Rose in his 16 seasons, first 16, 3,164 hits. And this is Ichiro's 16th in the major leagues. And he's battling Leake right now with a 2-2 count. Clemente next on the list. You see A-Rod's name there as well. He was the last to do it. Did it last year with a home run. Little dribbler and a fair ball, and Ichiro is out, and he's 0 for 2. Here is Stanton now. Miami's only run, a home run. Marcell Ozuna with one out in the second. Stanton, Leake giving chase. Well, you talk about an athletic pitcher. Leake was the first to the rail, beating Molina and Adams from the mound.
Put my money on Leake with speed when it comes between Adams and Molina.
Well, I understand that, but Molina had the head start, though. I mean,
he is closer.
Yeah, from a standing start, I'm going with Leake too. But you don't see a whole lot of pitchers racing to the rail on a pop-up. Here's the 0-1. Oh, 2. Buick, big matchup. He has been very good against Miami. In fact, last year 2 starts, won both of them, and didn't give up a run. Saw Molina start out way out, and Stanton strikes out. So the Marlins down in order and down in the game 3-1. Toyota gives you this inside look. Marlins by month. And as you take a look at it, the thing that stands out, they've been over 500 each month. Most in club history. Cardinals now 2, 3, 4. Ledmus Diaz, Matt Holliday, and Matt Adams. Urania has kept Diaz in the ballpark. He's flied out and struck out, but not Jeremy Hazelbaker. A 2-run homer by Hazelbaker in the second, followed by an RBI double from Colton Wong. And that's how the Cardinals arrived at 3. Prado runs it down and makes a friend.
She just wants to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, she has something. There she is. No, she's eating something.
Yeah, Martin Prado woke her up. Nicely done. And Diaz strikes out. First out of the 5th. If you place a deposit on a 2017 season ticket plan, it'll guarantee access to the All-Star Game in 2017 right here in Miami. You can secure seats for a once-in-a-generation event. 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com/season tickets. Holiday. Slowly hit, and that's going to be a base hit. You don't expect a 40-foot dribbler off the bat of Holiday, but it gets him an infield single.
Give credit to Urania on this one. Pitch located well. Everything went well. The only problem with Martin playing so deep, no play whatsoever. Martin knew a little bit better. He shouldn't have thrown this baseball. Almost throws it away.
You know, if you watch him on television, you don't realize how big Holiday is. 6'4", 240, and that doesn't seem to do him justice.
Right now, I remember on baseball cards it said I was 6'4", 215 when I weighed 240 in reality. But so that 240 right there, I would add on a little bit more, but it's pure muscle though. Unlike mine was not you were muscle.
See, I wasn't really going to go there.
I would. I'm going to attack myself before anybody else does.
Preemptive strike?
Yes. I'm all in.
Adams is popped out and lined out. Nice crowd last night, over 25,000. And it's 3-1 to Adams. So an infield hit, now a walk, and here comes Molina, the hottest hitter the Cardinals have.
Good visit by JT Realmuto right now, going to the mound, reminding him of, listen, you just hit the target, let the action take care of himself. Juan Nieves will join the visit. But the leadership of Realmuto behind the plate, recognizing, listen, let's nip this in the butt right now. You don't have a lot of speed at the plate. A ground ball will get you out of trouble, just like it did in the previous 2 innings. The fly ball, double play at the plate with the arm of Ichiro, and in the 3rd inning, the 6-4-3 double play induced by that ground ball.
Molina extended his hit streak to 13 games with a single in the 2nd.
And I see a lot of catchers do this. All you have to do is not try to set up in. Just set up down the middle and let the action take care of itself. Ball already has a run in on the right-handed hitters.
To an 0. Juan Nieves. Miami's bullpen scrambling right now. It's a dangerous spot with Molina and 1st and 2nd. And he pulls it just wide of 3rd. 2-1. If you're just happening by, Cardinals and Marlins, identical records, tied for that 2nd wild card spot in the National League.
2-0 pitch. You know the hitter's going to be aggressive. You see where JT was set up right down the middle. Ball ended up on the inner part.
Molina to center. Ozuna slides and it bounces by him. Easily scoring his HOLLIDAY. Adams pulls in at 3rd. And Molina has yet another double.
Matt Holliday was watching to see if Marcell Ozuna was going to catch this ball or not, was halfway. Marcell decides to play this on a bounce. I don't know if Matt Holliday would have scored or not. Instead he slides. You see how he stops right there? Then goes on in. Not a lot of speed with Matt Adams. He stays at 3rd. Molina clutch again.
Well, and Ozuna certainly would like another try at that one. Because I'm with you, if he's able to field it on a hop instead of 2nd and 3rd and 4-1, it's bags loaded and 3-1. And Hazelbaker being issued an intentional walk. Tommy Pham is on deck. Well, some even as early as 3 weeks to 4 weeks ago were wondering out loud if Yadier Molina had anything left in the tank. And I think he's answered that now over the last 2 weeks with a 13-game hit streak and his average climbing towards 300.
Well, no catcher in baseball has caught more innings than Yadier Molina. 764 total innings coming into this game. I think those 4 days of the All-Star break really helped him a lot.
Now, Urania got Pham to bounce into a double play in the third. He hit him in the second.
Well, it has to be a hard hit ground ball to get Tommy Pham good speed. If it's hit in the corners, the throw will go home. Unless hit to the left of Martin Prado, then he'd go to second.
The grass on the infield here at Marlins Park is as slow as it has been since the ballpark opened in 2012. You know, anytime you open a ballpark, especially one with a retractable roof, figuring out the right mixture of sun and water and grass and all of that. Harry Hill watches.
Well, it took him 2 years to perfect that perfect recipe for what type of grass would survive in this environment. It's not the regular Bermuda grass that we see in a lot of ballparks in South Florida. This one's a little bit more different. It's cut at 3/4 inch high. There's a lot of humidity and density on the bottom of it.
3-0 pitch and a strike, and that was a borderline one. And Real Muta had to reach for. In fact, it's actually outside the box and a break on a 3-0 pitch for Urania. 3-1 to Pham. Bouncer, Prado dives, he can't get it into left field. A run scores. Molina stops at third base, and Urania gives up another hit and another run. You've got the lefty in Dunn ready. Wong is the hitter. And here comes Don Mattingly. So after 2 really nice starts since joining the rotation, Jose Urania hits a bump in the road here. St. Louis 5-1 here in the 5th. Kendall Toyota called to the bullpen. Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by Checkers Fast Foodies, know the deal. 5-1 St. Louis. Top 5. Jose Urania out. Mike Dunn is in.
Dunner had a nice start his last time. 2 innings. Very solid.
With every appearance he's made, his stuff has been better. His location has been better. And as a result, his numbers have been better. Big night for Wong, RBI double and a triple. And he socks one into center field for a base hit. Ozuna has it. 1 run will score. And Colton Wong is a homer away from the cycle.
He's locked in. And again, that first at-bat told the story, covering a lot of plate on the outer part. This time stays back, lets the ball get deep, and hits it right back up the middle, a little towards the left field side, driving in another run. Again, the Cardinals, with runners in scoring position, using the entire field.
Now Mike Leake, who has struck out twice. John Mabry, the hitting coach of the Redbirds. There is the man known as Mabes.
Took over from Mark McGuire. He was Mark's hitting assistant. He's done a nice job with the Cardinals.
That is a position that really has evolved over the last 3-4 years in Major League Baseball, and that is the role of assistant hitting coach or co-hitting coach.
I think the biggest thing, if you are going to be that co-hitting coach or the assistant hitting coach, is you better be on the same page and not confuse the hitters. A lot of communication has to be done between both hitting coaches, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is having your 12 or 13 offensive players clicking.
And all hearing a consistent message.
Yeah.
Two balls, 2 strikes, still an out. Is Dunn in here trying to stop the scoring in the Cardinal 5th. He's got 3-2 to the pitcher, Mike Leake. Full count still. Urania could not get through the 5th. He still is responsible for 2 runners out there. He took it, and Dunn walks home a run. And the Marlins continue to unravel here in the 5th.
Not what you want coming out of the pen from Dunner. You get a base hit, lefty on left, and then walking the pitcher. So far this inning, you're looking at 1, 2, 3 walks. 1 via the intentional kind.
Along with 4 hits, it adds up to 4 runs. Garcia to center field. That's a base hit. Ozuna has it. Stop sign is up, and Ozuna's throw is on the mark. But the Cardinals have another run. And the hits just keep on coming.
Talk about a team that's going station to station. One of the biggest reasons, they are just barreling hit after hit. No chance for the runner at second base to even go. See Tommy Pham there at third. Make sure the ball's in. scores easily as Chris Maloney holds runner at third base and Colton Wong.
Juan Nieves for a visit. Marlins bullpen back into motion. And all the buzz and excitement about this ball game, the Cardinals have taken the air out of Marlins Park right now. Ichiro's 0 for 2. And the Cardinals are up 8-1. Diaz now still only 1 out. Second at bat this inning for Diaz. He takes a strike.
Not a lot of times you see first out of the inning come up and possibly be that second out of the inning. You see a lot the third out, but not the second. Aledmys Diaz has an opportunity to help out the Marlins with that.
Right center. Stanton is there, makes the catch. Runner's tag. Stanton's throw to the plate is a strong one. And another run crosses, a sacrifice fly for Diaz. Wong is across. And that run belongs to Mike Dunn. So 3 inherited runners have scored on Dunn's watch. Urania goes 4 1/3, 8 earned. And here is HOLLIDAY. And remember, it all started with 1 out and a little dribbler about 40 feet from HOLLIDAY got things rolling. A ball and a strike. One and 2. On the other side, Mike Leake has been efficient, effective, and Ozuna homer, the only run for Miami. Nick Wickren in Miami's pen. Pitch is in. You know, it's interesting. You have the Marlins here at 55 and 47 playing the Cardinals. And who would have thought that Don Mattingly on 3 consecutive nights just a month ago would have Jose Urena, Colin Ray, and Andrew Cashner starting games. Rojas to Gordon in a long inning and 6 runs, 42 pitches, and now 9-1 St. Louis. Just like a drive on South Beach. That's kind of how the Cardinals are feeling right now. A 9-1 lead. And Mike Leake has sailed through this ball game. As we pointed out earlier, he's dominated Miami since he arrived in the big leagues back in 2010. And here tonight, 4 innings, a run, an Ozuna homer on 54 pitches.
Well, the Marlins are hoping Mike Leake and the Cardinals get distracted on that drive through South Beach. You get stuck in a little traffic on Ocean Drive.
Come on, Eduardo.
See if they can stay on.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah. See if they can stay on the field for a while so the Marlins can get back into this.
Now, you know, you played for the Cardinals. That is not the Cardinal way to hang out on South Beach. It's not in that book.
That's why I said the Marlins are hoping. The way Mike Leake, after a 23-minute inning, gets to go back on that mound.
Ozuna makes a fastball for a strike. Derek Dietrich, JT Realmuto in the bottom of the 5th. And Ozuna shoots one in the gap, right center field. Hazelbaker won't get it, bangs off the wall. And Ozuna's gone homer and double here tonight.
Getting in hitters counts, starts off this with 2-0, then works at 2-1, and this one just a hanging, looks like a hanging cutter more than a slider. Stays up and goes through it. Beautifully done, staying tall throughout. And this is the start that the Marlins need. Staying on offense for a little bit longer.
Dietrich pulls it foul. Dietrich bounced out back in the 2nd. Miami has just 3 hits, 2 of them by Ozuna, and a Prado single back in the 1st. And if you are wondering, you just found this game, Ichiro, who is starting in left field and hitting 3rd, is 0 for 2. I think one of those guys too that he doesn't seem to throw anything straight.
He locates well. Not only does he not throw anything straight, saw the first pitch to Dietrich, hard in, has him looking inside after he swings, and then goes outside corner painting. And look at Molina moving. Look at like Fred Astaire back there just gliding through from in and out, out and in.
One and 2. Dietrich getting the start at first. You heard Michael Hill say that Justin Bour has been getting at bats, simulated at bats this week. And starting tonight, he has joined New Orleans for a weekend of games, which would indicate a return to the Marlins probably Monday. And the Marlins open the 3-game series at Wrigley.
I like Justin against the Cubs. Organization where he came up with, and Marlins were able to get him.
Dietrich strikes out. Leake kept it away. 1 out. Let's check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Hey, Rich, there was some thought originally that Justin Bour would go to Single-A Jupiter, but the Hammerheads were on the road. So to go over to fly over to Clearwater, they're playing over in Tampa, and it just didn't make a lot of sense, and that's why he's wound up in New Orleans with the AAA club. And as Justin told us, going to see a steady diet of some AAA breaking balls as well, and some off-speed stuff from the more clever pitchers that you might see in AAA. And then he hopes everything goes well. You see him in Chicago. The Marlins did get him a bunch of at-bats in the extended spring training, so we got to look at some live pitching before he headed out to AAA.
Thank you, Craig. JT Realmuto at the plate.
interesting lineup configuration also for the Marlins. You look at 3 guys that are in the lineup besides D. Gordon. While D. Gordon was out, that led off. You're looking at Ichiro, Derek Dietrich, and JT at the plate. They all did a wonderful job holding court.
It's not like a busted bat. Ozuna takes third. Real Muto is out. Here comes Rojas and a Coors Light. Well, a Coors Light cold hard fact. Most innings caught this season. How about that? It's going into tonight. Molina still ahead of everybody. That's the amazing thing is at his age, he's 34. And as you noted, his workload last year, and look at the workload this year. Real Muto in the top 4. What a season Wilson Ramos is having for the Nationals.
He's having an excellent season, but you look at the numbers with Yadier right there. In spring training, he did not play much because of the injury to his thumb. He had surgery. So he was out, and there was a lot of questions whether he would start or not. Has not missed an opening day start as a big leaguer yet. That goes, what, 12 seasons?
No swing. The one thing he may miss this season, it sounds blasphemous to say it, is a Gold Glove award. He's not had the type of year defensively that he's normally putting up. He's throwing out runners at just a 22% clip. That's the lowest in his career. Not saying he won't. I'm just saying right now he's in danger of not.
Well, there has to be a catcher in the National League that just blows those numbers away. Because the respect that Yadier Molina has, when there's a runner on first, he controls the game just by squatting back there. 22%, yes, but it's when they try to steal.
$12,900 or 12,795 career innings for a man that could very well find himself in Cooperstown. Well,
yes,
simply for his defensive prowess and some heroics with the bat. That is a rocket fair. Rojas keeps it fair. Into the corner it goes. And he arrives at second base with an RBI double. So Miami gets a run back, and it's 9-2.
If you're watching on TV and you see where this pitch is, there's no way you think he can do this. Keep it fair. Had some action in, running in, just brings his hands. You see where Yadier was going to catch that one, way inside. Catches that ball out in front of the plate, keeping those hands in, keeping it fair.
Chris Johnson will hit in the pitcher spot. Johnson drives it deep, right center field. Pham is after it, and that ball's off the wall. Back-to-back RBI doubles for Rojas and Johnson.
I think the Cardinals are stuck a little bit in Ocean Drive right now. Getting a little preoccupied. Marlins doing a nice job with 2 outs. Same pitch. Keeping his hands in. Inner third, using the big part of the ballpark, coming off the bench. You do that right there. Great job by Chris Johnson. Miguel Rojas does not have to hurry at all with 2 outs. He's going on contact.
D. Gordon now looking for his first hit since he returned from his 80-game suspension. 0 for 4 last night. He's bounced back to the mound twice against Leake. Little roller, and with his speed, he's going to beat the throw. Adams caught his arm against Gordon and reacts in pain. The Marlins have runners at the corners. Here's another look.
Dangerous throwing. Great job by D getting at it. Baseline, staying in it. Throw goes right into D. Dangerous play for Adams. He has to anticipate D getting there. That's actually all on Matt. See CJ running. Stops right there, but he has to be hustling a little bit more, and he knows it. No chance whatsoever to score, though, but has to anticipate a bad throw.
Now Gordon is racing up the line.
Well, watch how he gets out of the way. Right there, straightens it up.
This is not a reviewable play. The Cardinals are looking into their dugout like, hey, what does the replay show? But it's not a reviewable play. Anything to do with interference or obstruction is not reviewable. And you could see John Hirschbeck saying it. It's not reviewable.
There's nothing he can do on that one. And I think D did the right thing. You saw him start off on the fair territory, which most of them do. But then he evened it up and squared up and stayed on the baseline.
Dini on his way out to the mound after a visit with the home plate umpire John Hirschbeck. Two runs across. Prado up now with a chance to add to it. Gordon gets his first hit since coming back.
Well, yesterday you and Niner both applauded the way the Marlins came back from a 5-0 deficit to make it a ball game. 5-4 they ended up losing. Marlins down 9-1 starting this inning, putting up 2. They're pushing the envelope right here with the Cardinals. Still down 6.
Cardinal bullpen hasn't budged. Leak. This is away. 1-0 to Prado, who has singled and bounced out. Remember, Leak last year finished the year with the Giants, made 9 starts for the Giants. And the Cardinals signed him to a 5-year, $80 million contract. Gordon chased back. You can run against Leak. These Steelers are 9 of 13, but with the Marlins down 9-3, the likelihood of Gordon running is not very high.
You also can't get picked off here. The odds aren't very high, yet Don Mattingly knows that that man right there is their spark plug. And to get him involved and get that bench involved, if there's an opportunity for him to go, he would.
Gordon's game is obviously speed oriented, and everyone hears about it in any professional sport, the speed of the game. And the speed of the game is different from AAA. Prado left field, hits it well. Holliday going back to the wall, and it's gone. Well, how about this?
Well, the first half of the season, you saw a lot of singles and line drives, a lot of barrel from Martin Prado. No power, just a lot of barrel on the ground, on the line. This is a different Martin Prado, using his legs, catching the ball out in front. And if you make a mistake up in the zone, this is what will happen. A lot of high fives in the Marlins dugout.
From 9-1 to 9-6, and here's Ichiro. Fouls it back.
Watch how high this pitch is. Martin, as good as a high ball hitter as anyone in the game. Yahtzee.
0-2. Nitro line into a double play in the first. A little dribbler out in front of the plate. Molina captured it in the fourth.
Well, they're trying to knock me. You see that? They're in Ocean Drive. They're stuck in traffic right now.
Cardinals were up 9-1. Cardinal bullpen in action.
Teammate of mine, Jimmy Edmonds, with the Cardinals, would say on a pitcher that has a big lead going into the 5th inning, the decision is if you make it through the 5th, it's your game. Right now, he would be yelling in the dugout, "You're not going to make it, Mike Leake. You're not going to make it."
Leake has teased Ichiro out and then busted him in.
Well, he's coming in right now. This is what he's done 3-2 before. Missed location. See Yadier Molina set up inside. Pitch was away. Look for Yadi to repeat in.
Pitch was up. Nitro fought it off. Start tonight. A night off for Christian Yelich. Nitro third in the lineup in front of Stanton. To short. Just in time. And an 0-for-3 night, but the Marlins are off the canvas. Down 9-1. They put 5 on the board. St. Louis on top, 9-6. Coverage of baseball. Today, Chris Bryant in the rain, 3 for 3 with a double. Cubs a big win at home over Seattle. Eduardo Nunez. What was that? He was taking a shower?
He was taking a shower. Then all of a sudden he was told, "You're traded." And when they asked him after the game, he's like, "I don't know. It's a good team, I guess. So there I go."
Max Scherzer gets to start for the Nationals tonight in San Francisco. Battle of division leaders. The Nationals and the Giants. Nationals won last night. Here, look at how many runs were scored in the 5th inning. 11.
Straight traffic jam.
And
right there on the 5th inning.
And the frustrating thing, certainly for Miami, is that they finally got the lead. Yet the Cardinals had piled up such a lead before they got him. Adams, Molina, Hazelbaker against Whitgren. Very valuable piece. Nick Wickren has been. Closer in college at Purdue, closer in the minors.
Well, he's asked upon this inning to close down, shut down that St. Louis Cardinal offense. After a long 5th inning, you can put up 3 outs in a hurry, get your offense back out there, change the complete momentum of this game.
Speaking of momentum, a team that has a lot of it right now are the Colorado Rockies, who are just 2 under 500 and leading the Mets in New York 2-1. The Marlins, of course, on the next road trip go to Wrigley Field and Coors Field. To left, and a hit for Adams.
I don't mean to be redundant, but it's a fantastic story that's going on in Colorado. The way Trevor Story and Nolan Arenado have been able to hit home runs at will. You're looking at 27 from Story, 26 from Arenado. But most interesting is Story's done a lot of the damage on the road. A lot of his home runs have been hit on the road, so it's not like the ballpark is the only factor there.
Hit and run, and Molina pokes it foul. I think the other thing, and obviously Trevor Story's numbers are incredible, and that's probably the headline there, but the pitching that the Rockies have been getting over the last month and a half, 2 months, has been really, really good.
Chatwood has been fantastic. His numbers on the road are as good as any in baseball.
He's pitching tonight. Well, Molina came into this series last night hot. He doubled and singled last night. He's doubled and singled tonight too. So 13 straight games for Yadier Molina. Former Cardinal catcher himself, Mike Matheny. Ball and 2 strikes. Cardinals trying to chase down the Cubs. 12-1 winners over Seattle. Stanton after it, and he makes a sliding catch. I'll tell you what, this year Giancarlo Stanton has made about a dozen plays just like this.
That's like the 3rd play he's made against the Cardinals. Going down the line. Might as well patent this sliding catch. And right off the bat, I don't think he got a good jump at it. He didn't get a good look at the baseball, the way Molina swung, but was able to regroup. Watch the jump. Breaks in a little bit, then across. Again, those wide receiver skills of his from high school are paying off big time in the outfield.
Now Hazelbaker takes a strike. Of course, the catch he made in the 1st inning a couple days ago to set the tone, climbing the wall in right. Up the middle, Gordon flips, Rojas turns, Dietrich can't hold it, and it pops into the camera well. Well, certainly not a finished product at first base. While versatile, Dietrich still learning the position.
He stays down, makes sure he doesn't come up at all. Nice feed to Miguel. Miguel, strong throw, a little bit up. Derek has to know how far the runner is. He can come up a little bit, just take a slight jump. Get right back on that bag.
Off the top of his glove, it'll end up being an error on Rojas.
Talked about that momentum changer. That right there, double play would have been the momentum changer that the Marlins needed. Now it's on Nick to get Pham out.
Tommy Pham RBI single last time up. Center field. He hit it well. Ozuna back, looking and gone. There's your momentum changer. Tommy Pham is a strong, strong man, and he showed it there.
Tommy.
11-6 St. Louis.
He's making the best out of the opportunity. Every time he's in that lineup, he's doing something special that Mike Medini continues to play him. Randall Grichuk has been inconsistent throughout the season. Stephen Piscotty has gotten a little tired, and Tommy Pham is capitalized.
Wong to right. Stanton is there, makes the catch. Cardinals put 2 more up. It's the 11-6. Cardinals and Marlins, and an Alex Gonzalez All-Star bobblehead awaits, courtesy of U Health Systems, and Zombie Night at the park. So dress up in your best zombie costume. Get you a special zombie t-shirt. Get you some. Marlins.com/special events. Randall Grichuk in right field. And it's Matt Bowman who takes over for Mike Leake. Giancarlo Stanton was flied out and struck out. Bowman, the Tim Lincecum knockoff delivery.
See it at the beginning of his delivery. Right there.
Emulated the stride, although not to the extreme of Lincecum.
Bowman went to Princeton, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Out of Chevy Chase, Maryland.
Not as drastic as Tim, yet with the hand. See the arm coming from the back part, hiding the baseball well.
There was no coincidence that he is Lincecum-like. He knew from his stature, 6 feet 177. Kind of copied that delivery at Princeton with success.
Good athlete, also played shortstop at Princeton.
Stand at third. Garcia bobbles, but gets Stanton by less than a step. Tomorrow night, the telecast is on FS1. We're back on Sunday, and Andrew Kashner makes his Miami debut. Jeff Idelson from the Hall of Fame. Well, actually, he's here, so he's not from the Hall of Fame, but he's the president of the Hall of Fame. Homestand finale as well. Here's Ozuna, productive night for sure. Solo homer and a double. Started the Marlins rally in the 5th. It was 9-1 Cardinals at that point. Miami got 5 runs to 9-6. But Tommy Pham's 2-run homer has it at 11-6. One and two. Comes in and strikes out Ozuna. All right, let's Geico it, shall we? A Marlins moment tonight. Sanchez throws a 1-hit shutout against the Giants back in 2010. Sanchez flirted, and of course he did throw a no-hitter, but he flirted with a few others in his time. It was the Rockies that ended up breaking one up in the 9th inning, I want to say. Dexter Fowler.
Was it the 9th inning or was it the 7th?
That's why we have a research team. John Chimchuk is our baseball historian, and he will determine that. He's like the court of law. First, we need to determine whether it was Dexter Fowler, and then what inning. In the library with the candlestick.
There we go. Who done it? Clue. Bowman tried a quick pitch Derek Dietrich here. I think you're right. I think it was the 9th inning.
Well, let's wait and hear from our historian. He's sort of like Doris Kearns Goodwin, only with a baseball emphasis. One, two. It has been a tough run for Dietrich as he punches out. He's 0 for 3. 11-6. Cardinals on top of Miami. Or was it a foul ball? Cardinals came off the field. The grounds crew came on to drag the field. Here's a look at it. It's a tumbling. Yeah, it definitely bounced.
Dirt. Yeah.
Everybody left the field except Dietrich. Bowman was on his way out. So Dietrich is still alive. Well, that's strike 3. That took care of it. It was Fowler, and it was the 9th inning. And it's still 11-6 Cardinals. Doubleheader of baseball action on FS1 tomorrow. Nationals, Giants, and hey, the Marlins get a little exposure. Cardinals, Marlins start at 7 Eastern. So enjoy the game tomorrow night, and we'll see you on Sunday, 12:30 for Marlins Live. Please welcome Joe Davis and Preston Wilson into your homes tomorrow night. You're in very capable hands. In the double switch, Randall Grichuk occupies the 9 spot. Greg Garcia, Aledmys Diaz also scheduled to appear. And it's 0-2. This was a Jose Urena start, and it didn't go well for him. 4 1/3. 8 runs. In fact, every pitcher that has been on the mound for the Marlins, there have been 3 of them, have given up a run. Mike Dunn charged with the run. Wickren gave up the 2-run homer to Tommy Pham. Dietrich watched it go into the seats. If you have been away from a device, whether it's the internet, a radio, a television, the Marlins today completed a 7-player deal with the San Diego Padres, bringing 2 starting pitchers, Andrew Kasher, Colin Ray, and they're right into the rotation. Ray goes tomorrow. Jared Cozart was part of the deal going the other way, along with the injured Carter Capps. But the Marlins did give up 2 prospects. Josh Naylor, their #1 draft pick of a year ago, and Luis Castillo. Castillo, a pitcher who can turn a double play. That's a different Luis Castillo, actually. Grichuk strikes out. Real Muta throws him out. And on that Sunday, we'll be here, and so will a lot of kids. And the first 15,000 get an all-star poster. Kids run the bases on a Sunday fun day. And they pour for 74 pack. You can pick it up get you in. It's brought to you by Pepsi. Marlins.com for tickets. 2 hits for Garcia. It's 2 for 3. Gordon on to first. The challenges for the Marlins moving forward, and obviously starting pitching. Even before Wei and Chen went on the disabled list, the Marlins were hunting for a starter, a middle rotation type guy. They feel they have that in Cashner. But with Chen down, Colin Ray will get a chance in the rotation. But don't be surprised if the Marlins have a not a 6-man rotation, but 6 starters available into that second half, because as planned, the Marlins still have at least one more skip of Jose Fernandez.
Well, they have at least 1 or 2 more. Plus, let's not forget also Adam Conley hasn't gone as deep and has thrown a lot of innings this season. So I don't know if they're going with that 6-man rotation, especially down the stretch when you're competing and you don't want to take any of your pitchers off their routine work. But you might see that one guy spot start here and there. Could be Colin Ray. You don't know exactly who it's going to be, but don't think that it's that Cashner, that Fernandez, when he's going on every 5th day, he will continue to do so. Conley, you could skip them a start, but having them giving them that extra rest, I don't see that happening.
It's one of the nice things about Cashner is that his innings limit or innings level is not that far up there because he's been on the disabled list a spell. Soft liner finds left field. Ichiro picks it up. And Garcia with a hit.
Ichiro's so good. That ball landed right on top of the base. Just in case Aledmys Diaz tried to even think about headed to second on that one.
If you missed earlier, Ichiro had an Ichiro moment earlier in the game. On a fly ball to the left, he threw a laser beam home. And you made the point that Ichiro performs long toss every day.
Every day.
And it's a really an elaborate routine, which leads me to believe that Ichiro may have the best arm for the Marlins, and his interpreter and workout guy Alan Turner may have the second best arm.
You're right.
Because Alan has to do the long toss along with him.
It's a lost art. You think about in Japan, this is something that is done on a daily basis, taking infield, working on your craft, taking responsibility not only at the plate but also on your defensive part. Ichiro knows that his arm is a valuable asset into why he is still and continues to be productive at the big league level.
And by the way, StatCast had that at 92 miles an hour, which I think is harder than Ichiro's fastball last year when he pitched on the last day of the season.
When I played in Japan, if you did not take infield on the day of the game, you don't play. That is part of the culture. That is respecting the game. Now at the big league level, as we see ball 4 there, Josh Hamilton, at the big league level, you don't see any teams taking infield before a game. That's not part of the culture here at Major League Baseball. You see it at the collegiate level. You see it at the minor league level. Not every day at the minor league level, but you see it. But in Japan, it is a must. You could be in a rain delay. The game's supposed to start at 6 o'clock. They will push the game back so they can take infield to get ready for the game.
Walk to Holliday. Matt Adams waiting at the plate. 2 outs. comes after the first pitch and skies it into the air. Ozuna calling for it, and he's got it. Wickren strands a couple. 7th inning stretch. Miami down 5. Going for the Cardinals, and Colin Ray makes his Miami debut. We would give you a live shot of Ray, but I don't know that he's here yet.
Probably flying in right now, right?
Quite possibly, along with the Cashman. That's tomorrow night on FS1 at 7 o'clock. JT Real Muto. Miguel Rojas. And in the pitcher spot against Matt Bowman. Was a Mike Leake start, and early on he was very, very good. The Marlins were able to chase him with a 5-run 5th. Unfortunately, at the time Miami was down 9-1. Cardinals added 2 in the 6th. Real Muto pulls it foul.
Both pitchers were unable, both Urania and Leake, to go unscathed the 3rd time around the lineup. All the hitters got really good looks at them, and those sinkers weren't being effective anymore.
And Real Muto got tied up. You rarely see swings like that from JT.
That was some big time break on that sink. Talking about sinkers that weren't working. Watch this one. And it's late too. You see it, then it just dives down and in. This is what the Cardinals saw. And Bowman take him roll 5 and try to get him to use that fastball and start sinking it a little bit more.
Gowan getting ready. Last year, I mean, for a Rule 5 pick, he did not have a great year last year. 7-16. He led the Pacific Coast League in losses and an ERA of 5.5. Now, he pitched half his games in Las Vegas. That's not easy.
And there's a machine that a lot of the stadiums have. It's called the Pitch FX machine, and it's located to the left of our booth. And a lot of major league stadiums have it. Some minor league stadiums have it, and teams use that to their advantage. You don't know that in Memphis, when Las Vegas went through Memphis, which is the AAA affiliate of the Cardinals, that machine is there or not, and it measures the rotation of the baseball coming through. And then that right there, there's red flags that each organization has, and that's the machine. And it'll measure rotational, and not only the speed, but the rotation of how many per minute come through.
Spin rate.
That's spin rate. That's the word I'm looking for.
That's why I'm here.
That's why I love you, buddy.
Into the bat for Rojas.
And each organization has a formula, and they look for pitchers like that that'll fall through the cracks of some organizations that don't value that spin rate, and they use it to get those Rule 5 draft picks, or to get those players that they can get on designation or whatever it may be to their advantage, get them in trades.
Now that box that you saw as well is part of StatCast. Echeverria getting a pinch hit appearance, takes out. Someday in the future, scouts will be able to sit behind home plate and hold one of those things in their hand. Of course, every city will have a people mover by 1990 and a monorail. Where have we heard that? Disney. Former pitcher for the Marlins, used to throw a Vulcan changeup, kind of a splitter. He would hold the ball as if Dr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy, were pitching, with the middle fingers split. Now a scout with the Red Sox. Good to see him back to the ballpark.
All them scouts. Trade deadline coming up. Easy to detect a scout. See that stopwatch on the gentleman right to Nelly's right.
Now you mentioned Bowman and spin rate. There had to be some scouting after the spin rate popped up, right? It couldn't have been, hey, great spin rate, let's grab this guy.
No, after that, then you develop that pitch and you enhance the pitch. Colin McHugh is a great example with the Houston Astros. Was with the Rockies. They played a game against the Astros at Minute Maid Park.
Molina fouls it off.
And threw a couple curveballs, but then it was like his number 3 pitch. The Astros said, you know what, with that spin rate, it should be his best pitch. So they picked him up, and the rest has been history for Colin McHugh, throwing more curveballs than any other breaking stuff or off-speed stuff he has.
Dustin McGowan is the 4th pitcher to work for Miami. So spin rate is not a term that was coined or used exclusively at political conventions.
Or at NFL combines. But yes.
Yadier Molina is the hottest hitter on the planet, it seems. Stanton cuts it off. 3 hits tonight.
One thing Yadi is not worried about, trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark, just trying to make contact. Effortless swing. He'll get his hits. So far 3 for 5 on the night.
Jed Jerko in the box. And he fouls it back. Here's something to think about. I mean, if you're Mike Matheny, you've got to have Jerko in the lineup tomorrow night and Sunday, right? Because he's facing Padres starters. Well, now Marlins starters. But Jerko against the Padres has been unbelievable this year. At one point, he'd homered in 5 straight games against his old team.
Did that a couple weeks ago, right? And locked in. But there's something to be said about just having a different uniform. You have the same pictures, you put a different uniform on there, everything changes.
Oh, 0-2. Cardinals have moved Jerko around as well around the infield, which is tradition for the Cardinals. They like their infielders to be able to play in different spots.
Yeah, but earlier on in the season, nice block right there by JT getting up, knowing Yadi is at first base. Up by 5 in the 8th inning, Yadi's not going to risk it unless it's safe to say he could get in there standing up. Early on in the season, when Johnny Peralta went down in spring training and Ruben Tejada, which they had picked up, also went down, it was Jed that went to shortstop. Did a nice job, yet they were looking for more range, more consistency on the offensive side, and that's where Aledmys Diaz has come in, and the rest has been history.
Jerko goes after the slider and strikes out. And up comes Tommy Pham, who hit a 2-run homer his last time up. The Rockies lead over the Mets has stretched to 3-1. That's now in the bottom of the 8th inning. Colorado kind of charging up behind wild card hopefuls. Nationals and Giants tonight out in San Francisco. Cubs won today, big time, 12-1 over Seattle. Real Muto took that shot. Marlins 5 back of the Nationals, with the Mets a game and a half behind Miami. A lot of rumors about the Mets, with Jonathan Lucroy seemingly a name that's been linked to New York. Travis d'Arnaud not having a great offensive year. Good pitch. McGowan strikes out Pham.
Fastball down, throws a tight slider right over the plate. Tommy Pham knew it. Sometimes you want to look back at the umpire and say, can't you miss that one?
Cole Wong taking a mean hack. Now he's hit one homer. If he hits one here, he will have hit for the cycle. RBI double, triple, and the last cycle, 2005. Mark Grudzielanek. One of the all-time names to fit on a jersey in baseball history. Two and one. Gets it, steps on the bag, and McGowan is through the 8th. Ichiro coming up. 0 for 3 tonight. Another at bat when we return. In the bottom of the 8th inning. And for the Marlins, top of the order, D. Gordon, Martin Prado, and Ichiro. Lefty out of the Cardinal pen. Being Kuykafer. And it's Gordon who arrives, 1 for 3. Couple of comebackers, and then a little weak ground ball up the first baseline, which he beat for a hit. And a knee-high strike opens the at-bat for Gordon. One and two. How long, in your mind, will it take for D. Gordon to ramp up after just 10 days of games? That's part of the 80-game suspension. He could only start playing organized games 10 days out before he was eligible.
say you have to give him another at least 2 weeks of games. Reason being, there's no way to compare minor league baseball and pitching to major league pitching. It's not because of the velocity, it's more because of the location and the advanced scouting.
Pitch is in. Kiekhaefer, Dean Kiekhaefer.
Good thing for D. Gordon that he has going for him is his speed. That's one thing that does not need any time. Put the ball in play and let his legs do the working.
Kiekhaefer out of the University of Louisville.
Pretty good program they've set up there.
Going into center, and that falls for a hit. So his second hit of the night, and that gets Prado to the plate. MLB at bats on your phone, on your tablet, on Eduardo's watch. Get yourself some StatCast, game day, live video highlights, and much, much more. MLB.com at bat. Get you a Martin Prado bio. More an update on how he's doing tonight, which is 2 for 3 with a 3-run homer. Of course, he had a 2-run homer last night, so it's been a good series. 4 hits, 5 RBIs, Ichiro on deck. And Kiekhaefer misses out. It's 2-0. Strike to Prado. In the air. And Wong makes the catch, falls into the seats. Gordon tags and ends up at second. That was a violent collision with the wall as Wong arrived. That wasn't one of those get to the wall and then reach in. He kind of flung himself at the wall and then fired in.
He was going all out for it. Give a lot of credit. Aloha, baby. Making a fantastic play, knowing where the wall's at. Stretches out. Marlin fan has to do a little bit better than that. Makes a play, and D. Gordon heads up base running.
Now the umpires are gathered on the diamond. If they determine that the fan reached in and interfered with Wong, it would send Gordon back to first, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would, but I don't think they will. If you look at the speed that Wong went in there with, it's not like the fan, he was fighting with the fan for the baseball. The fan actually, no, he was clear. There's no interference there.
That wall, you run that wall straight up.
Still discussing this. Martin having a conversation with Yadier Molina by the plate. Runner stays at second.
And so Gordon will stay at second. And Ichiro comes to the plate. Don Mattingly is watching Mike Matheny and John Hirschbeck chat it up. Prado is actually still with a bat on his shoulder. I'm not sure Martin is hopeful that somehow there's a loophole that keeps him at the plate. But now he finally turns and heads to the dugout.
Loves hitting. I don't blame him.
All right. Fan interference is reviewable. It's much like the very start of instant replay where it was home runs and fans reaching on home runs. So that's straightened out. Gordon is at second. Prado is out, albeit reluctantly. And here's Ichiro. Well, so much buzz around tonight for Ichiro. 2 hits away from 3,000. But 0 for 3 so far. Keycap, the lefty, gets strike 1 on Ichiro. Better against lefties in his career than righties. But behind here 0-2. Better against lefties this year than righties. But not this one. Dean Keycap strikes out Ichiro in an 0 for 4 night on a Friday night start.
Keycap went off speed, then pitched backwards and went with the fastball. Pitch Ichiro had yet to see, strikes him out.
And that's it for the lefty. Cards go to their pen. We step away. Kendall Toyota call to the bullpen. None of those hits belong to Ichiro tonight. Stanton at the plate. Giancarlo's 0 for 3. Gordon at second. Miami's down 5. Seth Maness is the latest out of the Cardinals bullpen. Maness with a lot of funk in that delivery.
Always been called upon a lot by Mike Matheny because when you need that double play situation, you need to get that tough righty out. This is the guy that Matheny's gone to the last several years. Good late sink.
Fastball up to Stanton.
had some struggles earlier on in the season, keeping the baseball up. He was getting hit hard.
Went fastball again. A double last night for Stanton, but 0 for 3 with a strikeout here. Cardinals are hot. Unfortunately, the Cubs have won a couple. Look out.
Ball went in the bag, in and out. See that bag that's right there against the railing, coming down slowly but surely. Hit that bag, carried it there. Pretty cool.
Manus waits for it and gets Stanton at first. And the Marlins are done in the 8th to the 9th. St. Louis 11-6. Florida is brought to you by Southwest Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. By Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. 11-6. Cardinals on top. Game tomorrow night on FS1. Game on Sunday ends the homestand and this 4-game set. Cardinals a 1-run win last night. The last 6 wins have been by just a run. But here tonight, up by 5 in the 9th. Randall Grichuk. Grichuk trying to follow up what was a nice year last year, and he has struggled. 221 average, 282 on base. Last year he slugged .548. 103 games, 23 doubles, 7 triples, and 17 homers.
His inability to hit the slider consistently has had him on a down year. That pitch right there, taking it, and then pitchers tend to follow up with a slider down and away that he ends up chasing. A lot of strikeouts. See where all the pitches have been, down and away.
Busted bat and a foul ball. Of course, they didn't pitch him that way in the Little League World Series. He played in 2 Little League World Series for Richmond, Texas. 2003, 2004. Is that right? That can't be right. I guess it is. Yeah. The years 03, 04.
I like how you just have a conversation with yourself on that one.
Well,
is that right? Maybe not. Yes.
Well, I'm trying to convince myself that I'm not that old, and that he's not that young.
He is that young, and you are that old.
Thank you. He's 24. Rojas on to first. Checkers brings you Marlins live. 11 runs in that 5th inning. Ichiro's chase for 3,000 is stuck at 2,998. For all of you with the Ichiro bobblehead hit counter.
That's me.
Now you traveled with yours.
I travel with mine.
Oh, so that's why it's not here. It's in a suitcase somewhere.
Yes, I'll be leaving tomorrow on a 7 o'clock flight, so it's already all packed. Unfortunately, I should have brought it.
Garcia, Ichiro angles out and he makes the catch. So that's why he's 0 for 4.
Oh, great. Just like every fan that'll tweet me now saying, see what happens when you don't take it to the ballpark. Okay, I can take it. It's my fault. I know it's going to get something after that Gritchen comment. It's a matter of time.
Diaz takes a strike. Ledmus Diaz. He takes away. It's a ball and a strike. Diaz, somewhat of a quiet night tonight. Sacrifice fly. Compared to the nights and the games the Marlins have seen from him. It was very rude of him last night to rough up his buddy, who grew up a couple houses away from him, Jose Fernandez.
Yeah, what's up with that? I was at the All-Star game and took a picture with them. I think I even forwarded that picture to you yesterday during the game saying, really?
Dustin McGowan looks sharp. Strikes out Diaz. Marlins last shot here at the Cardinals. Down 5, headed to the bottom of the 9th. Cardinals put up 6. The Marlins answered with 5. But the Tommy Pham home run put it almost out of reach in the 6th. And the Marlins have been unable to dent the Cardinals bullpen.
Marlins' inability of getting that 4-6-3 double play really hurt them.
AT&T high-speed replay. was high speed. Ozuna, there he is. See how fast he got around the bases? That's high speed. That's what you can expect with AT&T. Manus stays in the ball game and gets Ozuna. And here comes Derek Dietrich. All right, Eduardo Perez, longtime major leaguer, major league hitting coach. What do you see with Derek Dietrich right now?
It comes down to discipline. Earlier on in the season, you saw him have a keen eye for the strike zone. Right now, he's chasing pitches out of the zone. Every time he takes, it seems to him that they're all being called strikes, and he puts himself in a tough situation. Behind in the count, having to open up the zone. Sometimes hitters look at, what am I doing wrong with my swing? It's not swing, it's swinging at strikes.
And that's the specialty of the man you just saw in Barry Bonds. Very proud of Dietrich, even though he's in the last few weeks dipped. Bonds yesterday singing his praises. Look out.
He lost that bat. That'll stay in the stands. Just hope everyone's okay.
It's not what he had in mind with the saying "let it fly."
No.
Everybody's all right. Souvenir accepted. Dietrich has a new bat. See what he gets. 2-2.
Now with 2 strikes, he opens up the zone. But during the regular season, yes, you open it up. I mean, earlier on in the season, he was opening it up just a little bit more. Now he's opening it up a lot.
Gets jammed. Diaz makes the catch. Holliday could have made the catch, but Diaz was so adamant about it. Holliday figures, you know what? I'm not even good.
That's a big man coming at you from left field. Usually, if the left fielder calls you off, but Matt Holliday sees Diaz with his hands up, adamantly calls for it.
It's a veteran move.
Yes, it is.
Real Muto.
The difference is simple between both teams right now in the first 2 games. 10 walks the Marlins pitchers have given up to the Cardinals. 0 walks the Cardinals have given up to the Marlins. They've been able to pound the zone, making the fish swing at their pitches.
Real Muto gets himself a hit and buys an at bat for Miguel Rojas.
Played Garrett Anderson for a lot of years. He would call this the salvage hit when the game is wide open. Last at bat, you're 0 for on the day. Get that base hit. 1 for 4 looks a lot better than an 0 for 4 day, and you're as good as your last at bat.
Rojas has an RBI double. Miami has 9 hits. Manus soaking up these late innings for the Cardinals. Cardinal bullpen had gone 27 straight innings without a run. Gave up a run last night, but here tonight, St. Louis, and that bullpen locks it down. The Cardinals beat the Marlins, and they shut out Ichiro tonight. 0 for 4. And this is a St. Louis team that has got momentum. And now they take over that #2 spot in the wild card. Second straight win for St. Louis here in Miami. Marlins Live is coming up.